Hello, and welcome. I was too busy fiddling with the other parts of the program there. Hi, I'm FBL Smiler. Catch me on Instagram. Got also used to be on Facebook, but we just can't seem to get a break on there. They just keep on kicking us off. I don't know why. I wonder why. It's very interesting. Yeah, welcome to FBL Broadcasting, part of the Cleanly Corporation Limited. Always have to say that, even though the corporation is just me and my company. There we go. Time to talk show. So, how are you feeling today, people? How are you getting on? What are you thinking about current events? How are you feeling about yourself, about other people, about maybe where you work? Who knows? Maybe you could let us know in your comments. So, we will invite people on. I will have my little rant or my little idea or whatever's been bugging me in my little brain, as some people may say. Let me just click on the button so that I can see when the comments come in. Now, again, I'd like to apologise. Did put it out. Oh, I can't believe it was over a month ago now that I was going to be doing it every week. Things have happened since then, which have made things really busy, loads of complications and problems. But that's what life is all about, dealing with them and working out what we can do and how we get through that, which, believe me, it's going to cost a few more thousand for me. But then again, I've worked out the solution, as always. So where am I going with? It's all a game of chess. So it all started with a conversation with my cousin. I've been telling him how I've been feeling about a few things going on in the world and everything. And this cousin of mine, good guy, obviously, my cousin. He broke something down and then kind of elaborated on it. And it was quite an interesting thought process. So let me know in the comments whether you agree with how I explain, describe, whatever you want to call it. Now, this show is all about getting it out there and letting us know. And again, no matter what your thoughts or processes are, come on, do speak to us. You can put your comments in. Don't get me wrong. We love it. But really about getting people on the show, because there's not enough out there. A lot of people say a lot of stuff. They do a lot of things, as in encourage a lot of people, but they will not do it themselves. And these are the people I'm really interested in these days, because I've met with loads and loads and loads of people who, especially through the last couple of years, who've worked in the medical industry, who literally are too scared to come on for the sake of their jobs. But sometimes you must stand up and be counted, and that's a choice we make. So it's all a game of chess. So where do we begin with this? Well, it's about how I see the world and how it works. And like I said, talking to my cousin, we come about this. Now, in my family, chess is quite a big thing, really. We all love it. I've played in the county league as a kid and, used to go with my dad and loved the game. And it's a game of strategy. Or maybe my dad was teaching me something a little bit different. Because, you see, the game of chess obviously is logical. It's about the approach. I meant to do some investigation, actually. I forgot to do it because I was too busy doing other things. And that's why I'm a little bit later than 7 o'clock today, because I was doing other things. But what we got here is a game that was, help me put it in the comments if you could. When did chess, when was it first made? Actually, we can, do you know what? Let's do the Smiler special. Let's create a click here. Sorry, a bit boring. There we go. Click here. Got to be careful what I bring up on the screen now, as they say. Share screen. There we go. Let's do this. I say got to be careful, as always. When you do a search in Google, things can happen. Things can pop up, even though it kind of moves you to the way of all the other stuff. Oh, like ENG, YMPL, the Youth Netball Premier League, ENG. How cool that is, and how we love streaming that. And a big shout out to the ENG crew, and also to all the teams who are doing really well. And it's coming to an end. It's looking good. Right, so let's just say, when was chess invented? There we go. Top of the search. Look at that. Straight in there. Number 1. 6th century. There we go. The history of chess spans some 1,500 years. The earliest predecessor of the game probably originated in India before the 6th century AD. From India, the game spread to Persia. When the Arabs conquered Persia, chess was taken up by the Muslim world and subsequently spread to Southern Europe. I didn't know that. Did you know that? Again, put it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on that. Didn't know that. I thought we invented it. There we go. We just took it from somewhere else. Right. So there we go. We know when chess was now invented. How cool was that? But so chess to me, I love it. I love the game. It's an amazing game. There's tournament chesses online that you can do. I just don't have the time. My brother, for instance, get well soon, bruv. Being part of the narrative. Yeah, the chess tournaments all online. Is it an ailing sport? What do you want to call it? Idea or a game? I don't know, but it should. This should be played in schools. I played this game of chess when I was at school, and it was kind of like the last year. I was only in my first year. This is primary school, and it was literally, I was playing up to fourth years or the last year, and God, I'm old. I know you people young people especially deal with years now, year 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, yeah, so I suppose it'd be year 1, 2, 3, is it year 4? Whatever, something like that. But I started and I played in my first year, and I was literally the only one to make it through to the last 15. How cool is that? But yes, it was an interesting thing to play against people who are older, cleverer than me, obviously. And I played very well, obviously, because I didn't win the whole thing. But it was quite amazing. That was literally only a couple of third years, and the rest were fourth years out of 15. So where do we go? Where do we start with this? Right. So in a game of chess, let's get rid of the screen thing. Stop sharing the screen. There we go. Work it out. So in a game of chess, this piece, the pawn. See, oh, by the way, thank you to my brother who bought me this wonderful, wonderful chess set many, many, many moons ago. Yes. Nice big pieces. I used to teach children this. Sorry, I know I'm going off the subject once again. At a school, I'd go in there, teach them chess. And I took this in, and this was the award that they got to play with this chessboard, because it's a very nice chessboard, very nice, heavy, precious pieces. Yeah, and it was kind of like they all got to have a go, but depending on how well I thought certain people were playing, they got the privilege of playing before some others. And usually I wanted the game to stretch the whole lesson, which wasn't really long. I was probably the only person ever to help out at school who asked for the school class to be longer. I think it was we spent 40 minutes, and I kind of wanted them for a couple of hours so they could have a proper game. So here we go, the pawn. So in your mind, put in the comments, what do you think the pawn is? Is it a most valuable piece? Is it just something you can just throw in the bin? Doesn't really give you much, doesn't give you many points in the game of chess. It doesn't do much, only moves one square at a time. So how valuable do you think this piece is? Let me know in the comments. Because believe it or not, I have a special place for a pawn, and we'll come back to that. But really, in a game of chess, it doesn't do much. It can move 2 spaces right at the start, gets to the back rank, it then can become anything it wants. So we'll come back to that. Interesting. So there we go. So what piece do you think is the strongest piece? Well, most people would say the queen. Moves in any direction, can do anything it wants. It can take anything except the king, obviously, because the king can only be checkmated if you didn't know the game of chess. And yeah, so here we go. Actually, before I start, just in case you don't know, maybe you're new to this, you don't know what am I saying? Here it is up. I was going to quickly show you a chessboard, but look, we'll just share the screen. Why does it do that? There we are. Why did it remember that? Oh, look at that. It's having a rave. There we go. Let's try again. There we go. There's a chessboard just there, just in case you don't know, remember. You can say it's like a checkers, checkers, but it's not a chessboard, it's a chessboard. But they put those checker bits on there. What do you prefer, checkers or chess? There we go. Or drafts, as some people will call it. Talking about drafts, got a bit cold tonight. So, right, let's just remove that there. So, yeah, so the queen. Very valuable piece. A lot of people use this piece a hell of a lot. Got one of my best mates uses this piece all the time. But when we sit and play chess, he makes me take the queen off the board. And even if I get a pawn to the back rank, it's not allowed to become a queen. And for him to do that says a lot. Because me and him, literally, any sport, anything, we've got to try and always beat each other like 2 little kids. But queen, very, very valuable, very precious. Only one of them on the board unless you get the pawn home. And that, yeah, it can go in any direction. Left, right, diagonally, blah, blah, up, down. So, of course, the only piece that can't be taken is the king. So this is the gameplay. This is everything. This once this goes, that's it. So once he lays down on his side, he resigns. But the king obviously can't be taken. This is what it's all to do with checkmate, for instance. So end of game, once he goes down or once he's checkmated, end of game. So any other piece you can just lose. The bishop only goes diagonally, depending on what square he's stuck. Well, it only can go diagonally, but whether it starts on a white or black square, that's the only one he can go diagonally across. Can't shift anywhere else. And that's it, really. Yeah, very good. But, and, you know, if a pawn gets in the way, can't go through, can only, you know, can't jump anything, which then brings me on to the knight. Very good. Jumps over, does, yeah, can get you out of trouble as well and protect quite a lot of pieces, and very good for sacrifices, or, you know, where people don't actually see that the knight is protecting. And so you send a piece in and use the knight to, you know, or even the bishop even to keep an eye on that piece. And if it gets taken, for instance, a lot of people will use a pawn because you know, it's just a pawn. They don't nothing really. A pawn doesn't do much. But then, you know, people will take that pawn and then obviously you'll take it with that piece because it just appears out of nowhere. 3 squares to the right, 3 squares to the left, up, down, whatever. That's where it is. And then you've got the rook, goes up or down, left or right. That's right. That's all it does. So I've just talked to you now how to play game chess and what the pieces do. So you might want to skip this bit and then put it out, I don't know, on for something to say, hey, these are what the pieces do. Right, so let me arrange how it will be in a game of chess. So let's put it this way around. It's very interesting. So I might have to move the camera down just a bit while I quickly sort things out. Just so we have it there. Right. So actually I should have probably had a board. Should have been more thought of. Right, so what we got here. So let's just move that camera down a bit, see if we can. There we go. So in a game of chess, there we go. There's the pawn. That's how it would be set up. Obviously, there'd be other pawns here. Yeah, but that's what the pawn is. Let's move that piece of paper out of the way because that's probably confusing you. You getting it yet? Do you know what I'm doing yet? Right, so. Oh, pieces of paper. Paper. Save the environment. Paper. Right. Yeah, there we go. Bring it across. Now, the pawn. Again, expendable. Just like all of us, I suppose, in one respect. So doesn't really do much. So again, you just get sent off to either make it to the back rank or die somewhere along the line. Then you have the king. So how do I see this and how does this blend and why have I done this episode? Well, I believe the world in which we live in is like a chessboard. Each game that's played out is each kind of fear they push through. You know, I know what you're thinking, oh, here we go again. But hell yeah, that's what I'm here for. Push those boundaries. Allow your brain to get a little bit bigger and understand that something maybe that you're not used to is actually happening. So what we got? So the pawn, expendable. The king is the actor. It could be, I don't know, prime minister, president, could be anything really, especially in this day and age. And these are all the actors that sit within the world, all around in every country, you know, who are being pushed forward into certain positions and then get elected in, even though we can't work out how that could have happened. Boris Trump. You know, there we go, as they say. But, oh, let me just have a little drink. Yes, I am drinking Coke. What's your best? What do you prefer, Pepsi or Coke? Put that in the comments, sorry. Just need a little drink now. Should make you burp. So, it's the actor. It's the one who decides where things go because they're, you know, at the end of the day, they're held responsible, aren't they? They're the ones who literally have are the public eye, are the person who literally says all the words and says all the actions and says, we're going to do this. Support me in what I am doing. But what's interesting is these other pieces that are here. Now, we the people are the pawns in this. It's quite simple. We're expendable. There's millions of us, isn't there? There's far too many of us, maybe some people will say. But the pawn, like I say, gets told, whether it's a police person. Again, I don't like to use that, police person. So either a police man or a police woman, because they are entities and they are real people. And at the end of the day, calling them their position a person also removes the entity of them being a human being. Quite interesting that. So do refer to them as policemen and policewomen, please. So what else we got? So there's the pawn. So the queen. Now the queen, yeah, is it, depicts obviously a female, or maybe, and we all know, us men, we all know, I can say this, that, when you have a woman, they can help or hinder, but usually they generally consult you and usually tell you that you're putting the bins out, or you're sleeping on the couch, one or the other. But actually what they really are probably, in this analogy, are the ones who are actually in control. And I know there's a lot of women out there going, yeah, right, I'm the woman of the house and I'm in control. Yeah, so that's how I see it. Is you've got this represented as a queen here, but these are probably organizations that are not fully viewable, shall we say. They skulk in the darkness. They come out from the wonders of the walls and the secret entrances, and the person who says, follow me, somebody wants to talk to you. Yeah, those sort of people. Those people who are literally criminals, but who openly mingle among us with prestige and money because of, I don't know, some kind of bloodline, or maybe even money, which it all really stems from, or just because they've done things really and they've shown their commitment to the said organizations. Yes, interesting. The queen, very influential, can move around, not freely, can be under attack. We do know that. The queen can be taken in a game of chess, but the queen is a very valuable piece, and it does a lot for the king. So there's the queen. We dealt with the queen. So what about the bishop? Now, so this is religion. Either religion, or again, other people who sit there who are like, the assistants to the king. They give advice, but not like advice from here. This advice from the queen. As you know, men, and women, whatever she says has to really be done, else, you reap, there is no privileges. Shall we just say that? You don't get the privileges. There we go. That's a better way of saying it. The queen has a lot of power. But the bishop, again, just goes diagonally, can attack, protect a little bit. And also if it's to do with religion, because it's called a bishop, it will probably signify a little bit of religion and how they, help the king, which again, the king can be a female. I'm just using the king as in the male analogy because it says king. Put in there female leaders who of, as they say. So yeah, so there's the bishop. The bishop, which can be obviously like an assistant or the other people who huddle together in these wonderful places of, shall we say, like they take, for instance, politics. Loads of people work within the organization. I'll call it an organization because you can't call it, they call it a political party, but it's their way of saying it's not a corporation in one way. It's not a place, it's to do with running the country. No, it's all about how you incorporate money into an ideology called the government, which is the people's government, by the way, not theirs. Not theirs. Remember that. The people own the government. These people in these positions get elected into there. Also, we believe anyway, but we need to come away from that. We need to work on a way that people who are corrupt, who work in these political offices, and you know they're corrupt because no matter how I look upon it, no matter how I say stuff to people, they always say the same. Well, you know what politicians are like. Like it's an acceptance. Ask yourself deep down, put in the comments, do you agree or do you disagree? People just turn around and say, oh, well, they're all dodgy anyway. That's why they're politicians. So we allow them to be that way. Then why do we elect them in? Because not really given much of a choice. That's probably why. But anyway, bishops. So yeah, that's the sort of people who work within the realms of political parties or maybe religion, who tell them that, should be going a certain way. The knight. Again, like the knight's very clever. The knight's a very good, I find that a very valuable piece, to be fair, in a game of chess. Very valuable. I love it because it can jump over things, it can protect things, it can attack things, and the people don't even know. So this is your army, really. Goes off, just leaps off, disappears, runs off into the distance, and goes about taking things out, shall we say, or protecting. Because again, from afar, they can protect like three ranks back. They can, protect a piece, hidden, without people really knowing. Just sat there like doing nothing, just having a can of Coke, just having a little drink. Ah, yes. What do you again? Let me know. What do you prefer, Coke or Pepsi? There you go. So that's the knight. That's the military. And then you have the rook. Rook doesn't. He can move quick, can move far, up and down, left and right of the board. But what it really does is it's really mainly like your assets. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the army. I don't know. I'm a little bit trying to work out. But I mean, it is called a castle. So to me, it's a bit like where's your physical lands, so to speak, or buildings. But, for building moves, it's more like a camper van or a motorhome. So I don't know. Maybe they didn't have motorhomes back in the days, or maybe they did. They just horse and carriage. There we go. But let me know what you think in the comments there. So there you have it. You have the rook or the castle, the knight, which is your military, your bishops, which are your little underlings that work with in political parties or religious members or religious figures. You got your queen, which is your wonderful corrupt corporate or secret organization, whatever they are, going about attacking quite from afar, doing a lot of damage and instructing the king really on what it's really doing. I mean, again, I say instructing the king. In the game of chess, really, you move the queen to where you want it to be. So I don't know, maybe the king does tell these secret organizations, government corporations, not government. Not really a government corporation, is there? No, of course not. So yeah, and then you got the queen. So yeah, it's a weird one. That's how I look at it. And it's a very good analogy as far as I can see. Because the game of chess has been, like you say, it's been around. What is it, from the 6th century? And a game of chess is a very formidable game. It's great to play. It's amazing tactics. But again, I'm going to leave this one piece behind, which is the pawn. So let's bring this back up. There we go. With my hair looking nice and ruffled. Excuse me. So the pawn. This is us, remember? That's how I dictated right at the start. We can do anything, really. We can be... My hair is really messed up. We're expendable, which we are, because, we're not really needed. We're just, the working ants. That's what we're really like, aren't we? We're like the working ants. And that's how these actors tell us. Yes, they need us to cast a vote, whether we vote for Conservative in this country or Labour, or is it Democrat, and whatever the other one is in America or whatever country. You're only given kind of 2 options. We do have Liberal Democrats in this country, makes 3, and then we have Independents, and Green Party, and a few others. But this is why the pawn, to me, is a very valuable piece in a game of chess, and I would do everything I can. So here we go. This is a little tip for you when you play me. I treat the pawn as one of the most precious pieces on the board, because if I can get it to the back rank, I can change it for any piece I want, except for the king, of course. Before anybody puts that in the comments, I can change it for any piece I want. But not only that, it's very good at holding up the fortress or the line. Hold the line. Hold the line. Yeah, there you go. This piece is very, very powerful, very strong in the game of chess. And what's interesting also is we often say, you stand alone, in some of the things that you do in life. And you know what? I'm used to that. I'm used to standing on my own. I'm used to being the only person who's shouting from afar because, that's just who I am. And this is why I'm not really a pawn. I'm different. And there's a lot of you out there who are different. You are kind of the pawn, because that's how these actors, these secret organizations that will run beneath the current of the wave, depict us. But they're also scared of these pawn people who aren't actually a pawn in the army. They move differently, kind of like a rogue unit. That's how I probably would say it. But we still can make it to the back rank, and we can create whatever piece we want and become what we want to be. And that's probably what scares them the most. That's why if you try and do anything in this world and you don't join a certain organization, pact, or whatever corporation, you find it hard to struggle. One of the biggest things I've had with a lot of my friends in a lot of the circles that I move within, how comes it's so hard? And it's because you tell the truth. We're so used to being told lies and sold lies that we believe. We just believe it. We just, oh, okay. And then when it doesn't come to fruition, well, all right, then never mind. So where's this all going? You're probably asking. Okay, Martin, well done. You've now bored me for the last 28 minutes and 36 seconds. Well, let's talk. So we've had the last 2 years of pandemic. Sorry, what am I thinking? Need a little bit more of a drink. Oh, actually. Again, let me know, Coke or Pepsi, what do you prefer? Put it in the comments. Even if you're watching it on the replay, I actually want a bit of coffee. And let me know, coffee or tea, what do you prefer? Or do you want, or do you have tea like me? I like tea in the morning, and then I move on to coffee during the day, and then back to tea at night, so that, it doesn't keep me up at night, even though I go to bed at stupid o'clock in the morning. A lot of you know me will actually say, yeah, he definitely does that. So where's this all going? So 2 years we've had the vaccination thing going on, and look, there's this really evil virus that's out there, and it's spreading. It's unbelievable. We're all going to die. Well, actually, only 1% of the population is going to be affected. Blah blah blah. But just keep on doing what you got to do. And sell the narrative. And again, we all got worried. Including myself, at the start, lockdown, I did a lot. I wore a mask, I wore gloves, I kept distance, I implemented quite a lot of things. Quite interesting, right at the start, I locked right down. And then I waited for the data to come in, and then I started to realize that things weren't exactly what they are. Here's another thing. So, if anything, what makes me laugh, sorry, I'm just on my phone here, is I don't know if this message that I've seen on Twitter is quite interesting, but it kind of fueled me to this. Why I kind of started late as well. I was kind of like, oh, I might do this next week. This sort of game of chess, really start things up and get things done. And then I was a bit like, I saw this and it kind of rattled me a bit, and I was a bit like, a couple of music played on the propaganda radio, and I just was like, wow. Do you know what? I will do it today. I've got things going that literally I might not be able to make 7 o'clock, but if I'm a little bit late, you all don't mind, do you? You don't mind. Little message, just here from, apparently, says so there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually from, because you can tell I'm getting old. Look, got to take the glasses off. From Amanda Schiller, Clinical Director of Vaccinations UK. Dear head teacher, now more than ever, it is important that we keep vaccinations against preventable diseases in the forefront of the public consciousness, and that we don't forget how enormously important school-age vaccinations are. We cannot afford to lose the gains that we have made in reducing cervical cancer rates through the HPV vaccine program. I'd like her to prove that, actually, or keeping potential fatal diseases such as meningitis at bay. Okay. For that reason, Vaccination UK are redoubling our efforts to vaccinate as many pupils as possible when we come to visit your school. This means that we have changed the way that sessions operate, and we know from our work in other areas that this system is effective and helps boost the overall vaccination rates of pupils. We will kindly request from schools the contact details for parents who have not completed a consent form by the cut-off date. That's against GDPR, surely. In order so we can attempt to contact them prior to the vaccination session to get their consent or refusal, it says in brackets. This will make our sessions run smoother on the day and hopefully make it easier for your staff too. Excuse me. Sorry, seems to something in my throat there. We will also now require that all pupils, and it says this in bold, all pupils are brought to the session on the day. Brought onto the session on the day, not just the ones who have completed a consent form. For those pupils who still do not have consent in place, we will again attempt to contact parents on the day to obtain consent at that point. Where this fails, and where a pupil is deemed competent by our nursing team, they will be assessed for capability to prove self-consent. This process has always been part of the school-age immunization service, and whilst there has been exceptions to this during the COVID immunization program for the specific vaccine, the use of Gillick competency assessment will resume as per previous practice. This practice is completely supported by NHSE Commission, and strict processes is followed to ensure that pupils are assessed carefully. Don't believe that one little bit. A pupil will not be vaccinated using self-consent if there is any question of any competency to do so. Well, I'll tell you what. Do you think that is right? Sorry, it says here anyway, just to finish off, we understand that this may present a change to the way that we have previously worked with you, but in order to ensure that we vaccinate as many people as possible with these life-saving vaccines, we would really appreciate your assistance with this. Your ongoing cooperation, I'd like to put it this way, your ongoing cooperation is very much appreciated. That's how I would put that. It's disgusting. Oh, somebody, whatever they've put on there, it's nothing. I'm just going to block that user. It was literally just somebody advertising for a website there. Probably a dodgy one. But anyway, so there you go. We have a wonderful thing that's supposed to protect us. An organization that doesn't protect us there. They're actually forcing this on to children where parents haven't consented. And they're bringing these children in. They're bringing them in and they're saying, we haven't got a consent letter. Do you not want to protect your child? Your grandparents, for instance. Do you have any grandparents? There you go. Do you have any grandparents? Do you not want to protect them? So they think it's right that they do that. Again, I've only just seen that today. That's only just come through today. So I will double check that and I will find out, but I'm quite scared about that. But you've got to wonder that if you've got the actor who's in place and the wonderful, secret, wonderful organizations that roam around the king. And, like I said, we all know that when the other half says to do, if we don't, we know that We don't get any benefits. So this is the point here, is the person who they, during the crisis, I don't know if you knew this, the last 2 years, that if you had private plane, you just kind of just zoomed in and out. Special businesses got privileges where they didn't have to worry about passing on, any disease or anything, which is quite extraordinary, isn't it? If you're in a position where people could be serious, people could be dying because of this, then you would, you've stopped the borders, but these private jets are still going ahead. And I don't know where I put it. And it's strange as well that I was able to attend COP26, wasn't it? Even though I'm not vaccinated. Yeah, again, I'll put it out there. I'm not vaccinated and never will be for this, for this COVID crap. And who's pushing hard that they're now going to grab children and pull them in. Now, I knew about Gillick Law anyway. I was also talking to, for instance, the deputy head teacher of the Grange School in Aylesbury, and I told him in no uncertain rights that my son is not to be harassed by them, because it's like bullying now. And I've had a few repercussions from them constantly about my son and apparently his attitude. It's quite interesting. And I told them that what they're doing, they were making people wear. If you were not to, so if you're not wearing if you don't have to wear a mask, then you are to wear a badge. Nothing like signaling people out. I mean, if you're not wearing a mask, surely that says enough anyway. But I understand why they kind of wanted to push it forward. And I said, do you not see that this is something very different? This is like, no different than what Nazis put, making people wear a badge on their arm and stuff, or on their clothing to say who they, what they are, what they represent. I found it very disgusting and very, very. There's no safeguarding there, and this person's head of safeguarding. It's just a joke. And I said in no uncertain terms to that school and to that deputy head teacher my thoughts. So let me know in the comments what you think. And let me know what else you'd like to talk about. Is there something, obviously you got the war going on now. Or sorry, is it a war? It's one of those things where, people say to me about it, and I'm literally like, oh, so we've moved on to the next thing, have we? If the governments, Europeans, all them didn't want Ukraine to be taken, and they really wanted to protect people, then we would have moved our troops in, and we would have literally said, well, Putin, if you come in here, this is what's going to happen. But no, they've allowed those people to be the way they are. Now, it's funny how these charity commissions all of a sudden just appear. These charities appear. Oh, here we go. Save the Ukraine. Save this. Give us money. Give us money. Give us money. I will be following this show with other shows in regards to things that I find. And charities is one of these things I'm going to look into and, let you see what's on my mind about them. Because the more I look into them, the more scary it becomes. On what's going on, who's in control of these charities, how much are these people getting paid? It's a bit like the councils, really. How much are these councillors getting paid? The chairman of the council, and our rates are going up. People, who are on benefits are asked to pay even more as well. And you might think, well, they're on benefit, there you go, but they don't have increases. It sits. I'm trying to work out with obviously the increase in electricity and gas going up 50% and another 50%. Well, why is it? Well, we're told that the price has gone up, but has it, or has our money lost its value? And that's why, because that's the real reason. Quantitative easing that's come along, and it's lowered. I was going to say, I think I had a £5 in my wallet. I was just going to get it, and I was like, I actually gave it to my son to go down. It used to have a silver lining in it, which means it was backed by gold or silver anyway. But now it's not really a currency of sort. It's a feudal currency. It literally, its value is, £5 isn't £5 of silver. It's not its equivalent. It's £2.38, for instance. So the pound is losing its value. The cost of things is rising, and it's rising because of that. So that's why electricity and gas has gone up so much. And again, we've got the war, so in Ukraine with Russia. So look, those wonderful people who are allowing innocent people to die on both sides of the fence here. And these people are criminal, just like government officials who have allowed this pandemic to play ahead, doctors and nurses who've put jabs in people's arms without asking what's actually in these, what's the actual ingredients in these vaccines, and what's the potential long-term effects of them. These questions aren't being asked. People have been very complicit, just like the armies, just like the police forces, being very complicit in pushing forward with the actors' agenda. Look at the Police Complaints Commissioner. What political party are they part of? A political party should not be in the Police Complaints Commissioner role. They're working in unison with the wonderful actor who's in the realms. But we, the people, the pawns of the game, we do have the ability to change this. So if you want to change it, if you want to play another game of chess, if you really care about the area that you reside in, then maybe go for a political position, as in go for MP. You have my support. I'll come and find out what you're about. I'll give you time on my channel, because I've done it for all parties as well, and I'll do it I especially concentrate on independence, like I did with Alan Robinson, when he went for Police Complaints Commissioner. And actually, I'll try and get him on, see if he'll participate in a show, so we can go through how the political process is actually corrupt. Is it corrupt? Is that a bit bad for me to say? Yes. How it's been abused is a better way of saying it. It's been abused beyond belief. And, the political process and how you get elected is diabolical. But again, the pawn can be anything. Remember, can make it to the back rank and become a queen, become a bishop, a rook, a knight. Can't become a king. It's an interesting one, actually. But actually, technically, in this analogy, they can. So there you go. Oh, let me let me know, coffee or tea. Or actually, or Coke or Pepsi. Yeah. Do like a good cold can of Coke. How about you? What do you prefer? And I bet you're probably thinking, why is he going on about that Coke? Why is he going on about tea or coffee? Because it's no different than any election out there, people. Whether you prefer coffee or tea, whether one of the biggest things, do you prefer Coke or Pepsi? Owned by the same companies, by the same investment bankers, whatever you want to call them, investment groups, your Northern Rocks, your Vanguard groups, all these people, or these investment opportunity, corporates, the way that they work, and they take the money and they make people money, and they really care about us. They really do. Well, if they did, then they wouldn't be, it's like medicine. Medicine shouldn't be. It should be free to all for all around the world. We have some very clever scientists, and they can go out and they can create, but there's a value put on that. And I know what you're going to say. Yeah, well, if there wasn't private investment, we wouldn't get. Yes, we would. A lot of this work happens at a university, and I think people would pay in and help out universities and whatever who are working towards health, finding new drugs to help, because it's like a vocation. I love IT. I love tech, and I love helping people out with tech. So it's like a vocation to me. It's not like a job, even though it is, has been a job, so to speak. But yeah, the Coke. Let's go back to the the Coke or a Pepsi. It's just about making you buy this or buy that, or promoting the brand, putting it out there to make you think, make you understand. So, you know, I could really do with a Coke, or really do with a Pepsi. How many of you, while watching me yabber on, have actually I could do with a can of Coke? And let me know truthfully in the comments. Let me know. Sorry, I was just checking something there. Let me know in the comments whether when you saw the can of Coke, did you think, I could really do with a can of Coke now? Really could. Or I wouldn't do Coke, but I'd do Pepsi, a cold can of Pepsi. So again, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Put it down in the comments. Or I'll be back on a show next week, hopefully. If not, a couple of weeks. I will try and do it every week. I will try my best because I've got a lot to say. And for me, looking at this, having this conversation with my cousin in regards to these pieces says a lot, actually, when we start to talk about how the world moves and how things happen. And what's scary is, you know, I don't see us moving from that model. I see us continuing to listen to, like, for instance, the TV and the radio propaganda. It's constant. Every 15 minutes, you know, play a bit of music on the radio, and the next thing you know, bombarded with adverts. You know, again, I don't mind about the adverts. Adverts are adverts because that's how these commercial stations stay on the air. But then you've got the government pushing forth that, you know, this narrative about, you know, disease and stuff. It's interesting now, for instance, reports of HIV are going up, and they're starting to push that in some areas of the world. And if you look at, for instance, what the vaccine can do to your antibodies, you will see why. And, you know, I feel for the people in Australia. I'm with you, people of Australia. You know, stand strong. Please stand strong. I know that you've been treated with tyranny as well, massively. And I'm, you know, FBL's here to support you. If you want somebody, let me know, actually. Let me know in Australia, actually, if you don't mind, people. Let me know out there. Let me know whether or not you're still under those sanctions that the Australian government's been doing, sending you to internment camps, you know, where you'll stay until they deem that you're now safe to go back out, and whether they find you and you have a police escort. And how I told people about this and they didn't believe, which is quite interesting. But if you want to come on, please do. I'd love to have somebody on from Australia. So that's really about it. Nobody seems to want to join the show today. So hopefully you'll join me next week, or at least subscribe to the channel. Keep it, you know, turn the alerts on, you know, the reminders. Let us know, you know, you're keeping an ear out and that you want to be notified next time it comes out. Again, the wonderful man holding the red what is it, flare? The red flare will be the picture that is used to tell you when I'm back on with this. I'm going to try and do it every Tuesday, even if I don't really have much to say. And again, I will tick it on for about 3 hours because we are live streaming this to fblstreamslive.com as well, so that if this gets taken down, you can catch up with it on there. Or maybe, I don't know, your YouTube app's not working and you kind of need to, you know, jump on fblstreamslive.com. Wonderful website that we've built there. And it does do a lot. So do let us know, you know, what you're thinking about. Or maybe it's something you want us to bring up on the show next week. Or, you know, encourage me. Say, could you look into this, Smiler? Because I will. Because here's the thing. Before I go, as we've got the screen open, let's do it. Let's do this. Let's bring it up. Add screen. The British are very amazing in espionage. That's why we have 007 people. That's why we have James Bond. Hey, who doesn't love the James Bond? Let's do a quick search of closing sequence of Olympic Games. Olympics. No, 2012. I think this is it here. Let's have a look at this. There we go. Reject tool. What's this? Oh, hang on. Here we go. Is it the 2012's closing? Oh, it's not the one I was expecting. Friends. They told them to set up a company to sell, PPE or whatever, and they then gave them the contract. Man, all this handing money over. If you don't go to the right school and wear the right tie, people, this is why it's so hard for you. This is why. Because you're not part of the brigade. Simple as. This is so, I might have to go and look at this YouTube. This is boring me now. This waiting for this to finish. Come on. Where's the opening sequence? Oh, this was it. Just need to go back. Can we go back a little bit? No. This. I wonder why YouTube's so readily used. Wow, they cut out the whole thing, didn't they? They cut out the whole of the English start to the. Why the writing? Why the writing all over here? What does that all do? Now, this is the sort of thing I do and what I look at. Anything is what. Interesting. The clock face here says 22, 2, 22, 2. 3 minutes past 9. Anybody know why? Let me know in the comments. I suppose if I watched the whole of this, I'd probably understand that reason why they were up there. But 22, 2, and then 3 minutes past 9, or was it 2 minutes past? I'll let you work that one out. What's very interesting here is here we got, is it Eva Telequictus? I'm supposed somebody who knows Latin will tell me that. And we got Canfros. And then we got Cusan's own part and high. As we. There you go. Doesn't make sense, does it? It really doesn't make any sense. Do we start putting these things into YouTube? And again, you probably think, oh, conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah. So let's start off with, let's just quickly do this. We got, let's put it on here. Actually, let's prove that I'm doing it using a normal Google thing. So here we go. Oh, I love tech, honest, right? So, I do these crazy little things. And I go, okay, well, what we got here? What was it? Eva? Let's just do Eva, I think it is. This. Maybe not. Was it Eve? Or was it Ave? Sorry. Let's have a look, see what we get there. Scroll down, nothing. Right, okay. What's that? AV selector. Like them. Oh, right, okay. What else is it? Okay. Now let's have a look at the next thing on there, which was Canfros. Oh, there we go. Oh, Canfro Limited. What's that? Why is that coming on? Canfro Limited. Hans Peter Birkeland owns this company, and it's part of the Stron Legal Services Limited. Interesting. Pointed on 2010, 25th. I always find these things very interesting. Company's House is amazing when you look at stuff like this, and you look at the accounts: dormant account, dormant account, dormant account, dormant account. Annual returns. You look at the annual returns. The full list of shareholder statement. Not really much in there. Just one share, 100 shares, owned by one person, which is by Peter. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You're thinking, what are you going on about? So who was it? Let's have another little look. People. Let's have a look at this. What does that link us to? Hans Peter Birkeland. Lives in Norway. Interesting. Who is this geezer? Who is he? Let's have a look. IMDb. Let's have a look. I don't think it's that one I'm looking at. It is. Oh, here we are. Facebook. I always find it interesting when you start to look into these things. I know you're probably thinking, where is he going with this? But this is sort of investigation. Whoever. Oh, yeah, essentials. That doesn't look like the hands that we were looking for. These are not the hands that you were looking for. Sorry. Let me just see. So let's narrow that search. Let's say what was the name of that? I'm really crap when it comes to this. Canfro Limited. Can't even type now. Look at that. Oh, don't want to encamp his house. Canfro Limited. Here we go. Nope, don't want that. Where is it? It was here, wasn't it? Nope, don't want that. Don't want that. We need to find this person. Let's have a look. Quickly go here. Try again. So if we look at people, I love this bit when I get. This is what happens when you do it live and you don't just have it all lined up for you. Right. We go there. Let's where is it? Where is he from? Norway, isn't he? There we go. I think this is it. Oh, what's he on here now? Buckingham Investment Limited, Canfro Limited. Ah, can't be that hard to find this person. He's all over Company's House. Why isn't he? I think let's see if we can get something a little bit more on him. I mean, interesting that Canfro comes up. Where is he? Did we try Norway? Yeah, Norway. So what else is let's go back to here. Where is it? Lost it again. Here we go. Filing history. Oh, I think I just there we go. Persons with significant control. There he is. Private limited by ownership. Shares 75% or more. I'm gonna have to probably find this now. Where is it? Here it goes. Annual returns. I mean, look, 2010 it started, and then 2009 nothing actually. Asked to strike off the register in 2019. Interesting. Incorporation. Where is the person? Let's have a look at people again. All right, let's do it this way. There we go. Let's try that. Might make things a little bit easier to find the person. Doesn't seem to be coming up with him, does it? See what this hands is like. That was the same one we grabbed before. Right, okay. That's interesting. It's not coming up what I found the other day. Interesting. Oh well. But let's do another thing as well. Let's go back to here. We'll come back to that. I'll bring that up next week. If we type in I think it's QAns, par and bear. Welcome to Gov. Look at that. What? Why it comes up with that, I don't know. Maybe that's how you call up the government. And we start to see things like human rights indicators, popular science. This is interesting. ONS, right at the top. Right underneath. What could this be? There we go. Business. Oh, go back. But wasn't that we want to click on this? Very interesting. Why the national statistics? But when I looked this up before, it came up with something different. Very interesting. Oh, it's all gone wrong. Never mind. Where is it? Go back here. There we go. So there was. Why this is coming up with the Office for National Statistics. UK business register for VAT and PO. Very interesting. But oh well, doesn't really show what I brought up before. Interesting. Maybe there was a time frame on it. I don't know. But again, be careful where these things are leading you, where you're going, and what's going on. But this is how I look at something, especially like that opening sequence to the Olympic Games, and you look at these things, and why would they display? What's with all this writing on the wall? You've heard that before, haven't you? And is this a message of a 1000? I don't know. It's all. I start to look at things in a different light in the way I am at the moment. So I've let you know how I think for the last hour and 10 minutes. Let us know in the comments what you feel. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring up what I brought up before a few days ago. Very interesting how that search criteria has now changed the selection on what it is. But yeah, go back and have a look at these things. Open your mind, open your eyes, and when you see something a little bit weird, go, do you know what? I'm going to type that into Google, or maybe DuckDuckGo is probably better, which apparently is the thing to use now. But you will literally, if you start to look between the lines, you'll start to see stuff that will make you think a little bit different. How we're going from one fear to the next. Again, the blight of Ukraine against Russia. I mean, Russia's a formidable force, and these sanctions that we're putting forward is laughable, to say the least. Oh, we're going to stop them. We're going to stop them earning money. Any Russians, so they've been discriminative against Russians. People who are not even in that country, and I know they're oligarchs, or what they want to call them, oligarchs. But that's discrimination, for one thing. Something that they proved against unvaccinated people that they're like. So these people are, or these people have been steered as well into these, push against them. Abramovich, he's lost all his money in the UK. And you think to yourself, is that real fair? Is he really at fault here? Or is it, it's Putin, he's doing his own thing. But they just, they're all actors. Putin, Boris, Biden, That's all they are. They literally, it's just another game. Let's line the pieces up, play again. That's all it is. And like I said, if they really want to stop Putin and Russia from gaining, the Ukraine, then they would have literally put their troops in and stopped it from happening. Now they're calling out for aid all over the place for it. It's a bit like Afghanistan. We left there, and apparently we left people stranded, and everything. Which I'm not surprised that we did, because they don't really care. They just move out. But we've been there for so long, and you're telling me that the the Afghan rulers overtook it within a few days. A whole military campaign that it is. No, that was all allowed, plotted, and put forth. So I'll leave it to you people. I don't know what more I can say in that respect, except for next week I'll come back with another show about, I don't know. I've got a selection. I've got so many things I want to talk about. There's so little time at the moment, but I want to pick something that I believe, will start the conversation. So let me know in the comments. We can come back to this if you want. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Every week we'll come back. We can refer back. We'll go on what I'm starting with and what people come on, and let us know your thoughts, and especially come onto the show. We'll talk about that. But we can go back if you want to come on and say, well, actually, I watched what you said about that. It's all a game of chess, and I agree or disagree, and this is my take on it. I mean, I'd love to hear it. I really would. Again, we're all here to talk, and I do mean it. If you seriously want to make a change, become an independent, run for MP, and we'll have a chat. We'll find out whether or not again, we won't promote violence in any shape, way, or form. People who preach hatred. If you really honestly want to help your fellow human being in your area, and you're not about taking side little bits of money, side swipes and little cash incentives for for peerage and stuff like that, then please do get in contact saying, I'm going to stand for this, and I'll give you an interview, or I'll interview an honest interview. We'll have a chat first, and then we'll do an interview, and we'll talk about what you stand for and why you're doing what you're doing. And when it comes to the ballot, people, I want you to seriously not just tick the freaking box that you're used to. I want you to sit and think, do you really want things to change? Do you really want the Magna Carta to mean anything? Do you want all those people who died in many years who believe they were standing up for something, and then these slimy bits of whatever who now sit in certain positions are making life hard for you, and you keep on electing them in? Then you need to look within. And again, let me know in the comments, and I'm sure it will upset a few people. I'm sure you'll put them in the comments as well. I won't stop them if you put bad things in there, unless they're rude and abusive. Other than that, I want to know what you're saying, but I want to see you come on the show, not be abusive, talk in a civilized tongue, and just let us know your thoughts, because everybody has a right to talk. Everybody has a right to keep talking. Whether, for instance, you support Ukraine or whether you support Russia, each person has the right to talk. There's always two sides to a coin. There's two views to be said. So that's enough for me. Hour and 20 minutes nearly gone. I hope you enjoyed what I've said today. Okay, again, interesting that the search criteria I put in last week isn't the same stuff that come up today. Maybe I should test that before I went live. But that's what that's why I like live. Live is everything to me. It's how you can bring things up, and things do disappear. Searches are changed. So there we go. So on that note, I will bid you farewell. I will wish you well, and I hope to see you next week. And have a good weekend. Don't forget, Mother's Day is coming up, and you need to, if you have a mum and you're lucky in that sense, make sure you appreciate her. But you should appreciate her anyway, to be fair. Because your mum's your mum. And thanks for watching. Don't forget, do subscribe. Do click subscribe. Click on alerts or reminders. especially when our next show goes. Like I said, try next week, but things do happen. I can't always get on, but it will be happening on Tuesdays. Literally the only day I have available to do these shows. So just coughing there. And from that, I will bid you farewell. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. We're not on Facebook. We've been banned on that numerous times. Keep on trying to open it up. They keep on closing us down. I even get to the point now where we click it and then they immediately stop it. So goodbye, Facebook. Thinking of TikTok, and maybe definitely going to go on LinkedIn as well. Get that all up and running, as we no longer can use the Meta, not Facebook, because it's Meta. Meta, never mind. The metaverse. So yeah, thanks for watching. Do click like, do click follow us on the other platforms. There'll be links below. I will update them. I did kind of put this all live quite quickly. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week, hopefully, or on the next show. And don't be shy. Come on the show. It's not that bad, honestly. Time to stand and be counted. Know who you really are. Thanks for watching.